So everybody wants to be a day trader now, huh? What's the deal with that?
Well, it's exciting, it's fast-paced, and let's face it, the idea of turning a profit quickly is pretty appealing.
Definitely. But there's also a lot of noise out there, misinformation, risky strategies, you name it. So for this deep dive, we wanted to cut through the hype and get a real look at how one trader approaches the market.
And not just any trader, right? We're looking at counter-trend trading this time.
Exactly. We're diving into a YouTube channel called The Inner Circle Trader, specifically their episode 2022 ICT Mentorship, episode 27 Counter Trend Ideas. They posted it on June 17th, 2022.
Okay.
And in this video, the trader actually walks us through his trades from earlier that month, all focused on the NASDAQ.
And this isn't just, riding the wave of a trend. He's talking about finding opportunities where the market kind of, snaps back.
Wait, he tries to predict when the market's going to snap back? That sounds a little,
Risky.
yeah, a little risky.
A little. That's the name of the game with counter-trend trading. But to understand it, we're going to decode some of the lingo. Like this term he uses, fair value gaps. Imagine the market takes a break, comes back, and suddenly realizes, whoops, things are out of whack. Those are the gaps.
Okay, so like a rubber band, stretch it far enough, it's got to snap back eventually. He's betting on that snap.
Exactly.
But how does he know when and where that's going to happen?
That's where he digs into market structure. But basically looking for those clues in past price movements to anticipate what might happen next.
So it's not just watching the waves, it's understanding those currents underneath.
Exactly. And he focuses on a very specific time, too, 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern.
Why that time?
The early session move, he calls it. That's when the New York session opens, things get hectic. He says that's where the real opportunities are.
More action, more potential for those quick counter-trend moves.
Think of it like a party. More people, more chances for something interesting to happen. That's your liquidity.
So he's got his eyes on the clock, he's looking for those fair value gaps, and he's trying to predict the market's next move. But he also gets into the mental game of trading, which I thought was fascinating.
Oh, yeah, that's huge. He talks pretty openly about how he deals with anxiety, the pressure of making those split-second decisions.
Yeah, this whole pseudo-memories thing, he talks about like rewiring your brain for success. What's that all about?
It's wild. Let me see if I can explain it.
So how do pseudo-memories work? That sounds kind of crazy.
It's not as crazy as it sounds, actually. Think about athletes using visualization. Picturing themselves hitting that game-winning shot or crossing the finish line first.
Right, that mental rehearsal, building confidence.
Yeah. He's doing something similar, but with his trading journal.
Yeah.
He uses it to track his trades, but also to emphasize his winning trades.
So it's more than just like, okay, I bought here, sold there. He's adding some color commentary.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's say he sees a fair value gap and makes a trade based on his strategy.
Okay.
If it works out, he writes it down in his journal. But he describes it in a way that reinforces his confidence. I knew the market would react this way, or I saw this setup forming a mile away, stuff like that.
Even if, like, at the time, maybe he wasn't so sure.
Exactly. It's about rewriting the narrative in his head. So when he sees a similar setup in the future, his brain goes, wait, I've been here before. I know how this ends.
So he's kind of hacking his own brain to make those decisions more instinctively, more confidently.
Exactly. And that kind of mental training, it's not just for trading. Musicians, athletes, anyone in a high-pressure field, they use similar techniques.
Right. Practice makes perfect, but also visualizing that perfect performance, that's huge.
Absolutely. It shows the power of mindset in any field.
Totally. But he's also realistic about the risks involved. He's not just jumping into every trade.
Oh, yeah. Risk management is huge for him. Yeah. He talks a lot about order blocks, basically big buy or sell orders from institutions, the whales of the market.
Okay.
And those can really move the market. So he factors those into his strategy, too.
So he's looking at the charts, he's got the clock in mind, and he's also watching out for those big players who can shake things up. It's like he's playing 4D chess out there.
It's a whole different level of strategy.
Yeah.
And he's very clear this is not some get-rich-quick scheme.
Yeah.
It takes time, practice, and a whole lot of discipline.
Exactly. He even mentions that the trades he's showing, they're from a demo account. This is him practicing, honing his skills.
Yeah, this isn't just do what I do and you'll be rich. He's showing the work, the learning process.
Which is important for us. We love digging into these ideas, but we also want to be responsible.
Knowledge is power, but it's what you do with it, right?
Exactly. And speaking of knowledge, what I love about this whole deep dive is that you don't have to be a trader to get something out of it.
100%.
Yeah.
There's so much we can all learn from this guy's approach. The importance of record keeping, understanding your own psychology, you name it.
It's about recognizing those hidden patterns, those moments where you can zig when everyone else sags.
Yeah.
Like he says, it's about understanding the currents, not just riding the waves.
Totally. What are the fair value gaps in your life?
Right.
Where can you find those opportunities for a counter trend move?
Now that's a question I'm going to be thinking about all day.
You too?
So, to wrap things up, what's your biggest takeaway from this deep dive? What do you want our listeners to remember?
I think the biggest thing is the importance of self-awareness. This trader, he recognizes his own anxieties. He actively works to manage them. That's huge.
Yeah.
We all have biases, mental habits that hold us back. Recognizing those and working on them, that's how you unlock your true potential.
It's like he says, you're not just trading the market, you're trading your own psychology.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, some of our listeners will be inspired to find those fair value gaps in their own lives.
Or at the very least, they'll never look at a rubber band the same way again. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone. We'll be back soon with another episode, ready to tackle a whole new topic. Until then, happy trading. Or, whatever it is you do. And that's the beauty of these deep dives, isn't it? You don't have to be a trader to get something out of it.
No, not at all.
Like, I'm not about to start day trading, but there's so much we can all learn from this guy's approach. The psychology of it, the discipline. It's fascinating.
Totally. Like, take the record keeping, right?
Yeah.
That's huge in any field. Being able to track your decisions, analyze your wins and losses, that's how you improve.
It's about recognizing those patterns, understanding the why behind your successes and failures.
Exactly. And maybe seeing those moments where you can do the unexpected. Just like he looks for those fair value gaps and those counter trend moves.
It's like he said, understanding the currents, not just riding the waves.
Yes. What are the fair value gaps in your world?
Yeah.
Where can you zig when everyone else zags?
That's what I want to know. That's something I'm going to be thinking about for a while.
Me too. It really makes you think.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of counter-trend trading, what's the one thing you hope our listeners walk away with?
Honestly, I think it's that self-awareness is key. This trader, he knows his weaknesses, he knows his anxieties, and he actively works on them.
Yeah, that really stood out to me too.
We all have those things, right? Those mental habits or biases that can trip us up. But by recognizing them, by working on them, that's how we can unlock our true potential.
It's not just trading the markets, it's trading your own psychology.
Exactly. And hey, maybe some of our listeners will find some fair value gaps in their own lives,
Or at the very least, they'll never look at a rubber band the same way again.
That's for sure.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll be back soon with another episode and a whole new topic to explore. Until then, happy trading. Or, whatever it is you do.